The 2024 season of the UIM F1H2O World Championship fires into life with the Pertamina Grand Prix of Indonesia. The series returns to Indonesia for the second time with a 300th race in the history of the world's most famous canopy racing championship run on Lake Toba in Sumatra. The perfect backdrop for an F1H2O season opener, Lake Toba sits in the ancient caldera of a supermassive volcano that exploded 70,000 years ago in a climate-changing event. Lake Toba and its surrounding regions offer a rich tapestry of experiences for visitors. The serene beauty of the lake, cradled by lush hills and traditional Batak villages, is a sight to behold. Visitors can immerse themselves in the local culture, savoring the unique flavors of North Sumatran cuisine and interacting with the warm and welcoming Batak people. The previous year, Lake Toba hosted the UIM ABP Endurance World Championship, spanning 3 unique and remote locations, solidifying the lake's reputation in international motorsport racing. The event was widely publicized in Indonesia, and there was no shortage of celebrities and government dignitaries at the event, meeting and greeting local teams and drivers. The race weekend would feature a pole position qualifying session, followed by 2 sprint races, and concluding with a Grand Prix race. A few of the brave were able to get a taste for the thrill of an F1H2O boat by taking a ride in the custom 2-seater version. Now let's meet the highly competitive field of drivers and teams that make up the 2024 F1H2O fleet. This year's championship kicked off with a stacked lineup of 9 teams and 17 drivers from across the globe. The man to beat, 2-time defending world champion Jonas Andersson, formerly of Team Sweden and now renamed Team Vietnam. He executed a clean sweep in 2023 to claim his 2nd title. His technical mastery tuning his own engines was a key factor in his success. Now, with the support of Vietnam, Jonas Andersson will be a formidable opponent.
I had a big opportunity, and I'm really grateful that we have a new team, Team Vietnam, and the people behind is fantastic. So this is incredible for me after all year with a very small sponsor.
Andersson is joined by Stefan Arend, a promising rookie from Estonia who steps up to the World Championship after securing 3rd in last year's UIM F2 World Championship.
I jumped at the chance, let's say that, since Formula 1 has been a dream for a long time, and thus far I've enjoyed the collaboration a lot, and I know that I can learn a lot from Jonas as well.
Finishing 2nd in the Drivers' Championship was Victory Team's Eric Stark. It was a considerable achievement for this illustrious team and veteran driver after a long hiatus from the sport. They kick off their 2nd year of partnership with a singular goal.
No, we're going to try to push a little bit more, try to win some races, and try to win the championship. It's our goal, and I really think we can do it.
His teammate Emirati Ahmed Al Fahim will miss this round due to his 1-race suspension for causing Sean Torrente's collision at the Road to Sharjah Grand Prix of Sharjah sprint race. The big news for Team Abu Dhabi was the retirement of their 3-time world champion driver Sean Torrente, who'd be replaced by young Italian talent Alberto Comparato, who lives and trains in the same town as where team manager Guido Capellini is based.
Yeah, it's not easy to take a Sean spot, but I will try my best to make them proud.
Emirati Thani Al-Kamzi will continue in the number 5 boat. His 3rd place finish in the final Road to Sharjah race was pivotal in earning the team 2nd in the team's championship. China CTIC team's hard-charging Frenchman Peter Marin finished 3rd on the Drivers' Championship podium. He continues as the premier driver for a 2nd year in his number 7 boat and is eager to nab a 1st place podium.
We finished 3rd last year, and we try to stay on the podium for sure, but if possible to get a better place for sure.
Marin's teammate, American Brent Dillard, won Rookie of the Year in 2023 and continues in the number 8 boat. Double world champion Sami Celio has a slick new look driving for Red Devil SMC F1 team this season.
Yeah, we split with the Sharjah Now we're running our own team again with our old new sponsor Red Devil make the comeback, and we are very happy for that.
His teammate Dutchman Ferdinand Zandbergen was a big contender for second in the 2023 championship, but was pipped in the final Road to Sharjah race by Peter Marin. The talented young driver is hungry for another shot at the championship. Celio and Zandbergen's previous Team Sharjah took over Scott Gilman's Mad Croc Gilman Racing, now rebranded as Sharjah Team. Philip Roms will run their number 18 boat and has 2 podium finishes to his name. He'll be joined by Canadian Rusty Wyatt, who'll be making his F1H2O racing debut. He's been competing in the American Powerboat Championship, but he's new to the F1H2O spec boats.
This DAC haul that we're running this weekend, I haven't had any time in it. We're used to the European Moor haul, which we've been running the last 5 years, so it's similar from what I've heard, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit getting used to the new boat, and of course we got a little bit extra horsepower over here as well, so there's a lot to get used to in the first little bit.
Stromoy Racing's Marit Stromoy continues the development of the field's only Mercury 4-stroke engine, in which she placed 6th overall at the Road to Sharjah Grand Prix of Sharjah. Her Polish teammate Bartek Marszalek was the pole sitter and winner of last year's inaugural Grand Prix here on Lake Toba. F1 Atlantic Team's Portuguese veteran Duarte Benavente teams up with England's talented Ben Jelf in the 2 F1 Atlantic Team boats. Maverick Racing retained unchanged driver lineups for the opening race on Lake Toba, with the French duo of Cedric Deguine and Alexander Bourgeot. The tight, highly technical circuit on Lake Toba features 10 buoys, including 2 yellow right-handers. The conditions on this high-altitude volcanic lake present a host of unique challenges for drivers and teams.
Yeah, it's a very long course, and it's quite tricky, and we are a little bit in high altitude here, so the engine is running a little bit slower. So, you know, that's the key thing, to manage that and find some good setup for that.
Of course it's a special place because I won here, but it's also a unique circuit. We have many short straights, a lot of corners, but it's also quite challenging to choose the right setup.
The qualifying session sets the starting grid and progresses through 3 stages. In Q1, drivers have 20 minutes to record their fastest lap, with the top 12 moving on to Q2, where they have 15 minutes to vie for one of 6 spots in Q3, the decisive 10-minute battle where the fastest driver claims pole position. Sharjah Team's Rusty Wyatt's first qualifying outing ground to a halt in the opening minutes. Fearing the worst, the boat was craned back to the pits, but realizing it was a quick fix to the fuel line, they hauled the boat back, and the Canadian rookie stormed to the front in his first lap. So astonishing was his lap time that he was put under investigation, but would go on to continue into Q2. Meanwhile, Red Devils' Ferdinand Zandbergen had engine issues and was unable to break into the top 12. Team Abu Dhabi's new frontman, Alberto Comparato, was fastest in the morning's free practice, but struck an object on the racecourse which wrapped around his propeller. He went back out, but his engine had lost power. Luckily, he had completed laps qualifying him in 9th into Q2. Defending champion Anderson was back on his game in Q2 and led throughout the session with a time of 1 minute 3.81 seconds, followed by Stark in P2 and rookie Rusty Williams in P3, proving his earlier fastest Q1 lap was not a fluke. Back in the pits, things were looking grim for Comparato. After an all-hands exhaustive check, it was determined the engine had blown because of the jammed propeller, which later had to be changed. His teammate Daniel Kamsi was struggling and would finish 9th, unable to make Q3. Stefan Arendt, in only his second outing in an F1 boat, was flying out there and finished behind Rusty Wyatt in 4th. Marszalek and Celio rounded out the top 6, making the Q3 cut. Q3 fired up with a ferocious battle between the 2 Swedes. The Blue Victory boat took the top spot at 1 minute 2.68 seconds, but Anderson responded by beating his fellow countryman by just 23 hundredths of a second. The 2 rookie drivers were in a tussle of their own, with Stefan Arendt of Team Vietnam running in P3 with a time of 1 minute 3.63 seconds. But with just seconds to go, Sharjah Team's Canadian driver Rusty Wyatt snatched third place with a time of 1 minute 3.45 seconds.
Good job, Matt. Buddy, you got pole?
No.
You were the second?
A stunning feat as the two rookies take third and fourth on the starting grid. Stromoy Racing's Polish ace Bartek Marszalek takes P4, with Red Devil Sami Celio in P6. And so Jonas Andersson lands the top spot, with Eric Stark behind in P2. Saturday morning featured two 15-minute sprint races, their starting grids based on the qualifying session results. With the sprint races offering half the Grand Prix points, they provided a crucial battleground for the championship title. Andersson had pole in the starting grid for sprint race 1, his teammate Stefan Arendt in P2, Bartek Marszalek P3. Alberto Comparato was in last after his engine change. Stefan Arendt has a bad start, his engine kicking in late, and he falls back immediately. Bartek Marszalek to his starboard jets off and gains a few boat lengths before the commitment buoy. Team Vietnam's Arendt still has the inside lane advantage, but the Polish ace Bartek Marszalek shuts him out, locks in second place. Ben Jelf catches up from the outside and attacks Stefan Arendt for third. The two are deadlocked coming around the first turn, but it's Ben Jelf who finds the speed and pulls ahead, sealing in third place at the right-hander. Brent Dillard is fifth. Behind him, teammates Alkamzi and Comparato are fighting for sixth place. Comparato had a great start, passing both Maverick team drivers and tries to take Alkamzi, but the Emirati driver surges ahead and takes back sixth place. Jonas Andersson opens a massive gap with Marszalek in second, and Ben Jelf settles in third with an eye on valuable championship points. Positions remain the same for the 15-lap race, and Jonas Andersson brings home his first win, and with it 10 points toward the championship. Bartek Marszalek is second, and Ben Jelf third with 8 points. Team Vietnam's Arendt stacks another 7 points on the team championship board.
I'm really happy. My new boat seems to work really nice, and the boys have been working really hard this week, and very nice for the future.
I tried to follow Jonas, but I need to work on my performance more because he's like a jackrabbit.
So on the start we just got off really fast. Unfortunately Stefan didn't have quite a good sort of run around the first turn, but I made full advantage of that. And so we was battling for a good few corners. He was trying to get that position back, but in the end, I came out on top.
The boats line up for sprint race 2. Eric Stark has pole with Canadian rookie Rusty Wyatt in P2 and Sami Celio P3, but behind him is the hard-charging Peter Marin. And they're off. Red Devils Sami Celio slow off the pontoon. Peter Marin is there to capitalize. Eric Stark leads Rusty Wyatt by barely a boat's length. The Sharjah Team rookie is fast, but the victory driver holds the inside line and moves into first around the green buoys. Peter Marin is third. Behind him, Marit Stromoy attacks Sami Celio in the battle for fourth. She pours on the power in her 4-stroke engine and beats Celio to the first turn buoys. Celio has the inside lane, but Marit Stromoy is able to maintain speed through the turn and emerges on the inside lane to the right-hander. Sharjah Team's Philip Roms is 6th, with Ferdinand Zandberg in 7th and Duarte Benavente 8th. The laps wind down, and Victory Team Stark puts 10 points on the board. Canadian rookie Rusty Wyatt in his first F1H2O race with 9 points in second place, and Peter Marin third.
Yeah, it's fantastic to start the season at least with one win, even if it was a sprint. You know, it's a win.
It was great. I got a great start. I was on Eric's hip the whole time, and lap times are super similar. So no, it was very nice to get that first race under the belt.
It's a good result for us, and really want to congratulate all the team who give a very big effort.
Over the course of the race event, local organizers welcomed the teams and drivers with a host of gala dinners and dazzling shows, introducing the riches of Indonesian culture. Race day, as teams and drivers completed their final preparations, thousands gathered along the shores to watch the race. Crowds retreated to a spectacular airshow, followed by an opening ceremony showcasing local cultures. The Indonesian Sports and Youth Minister Dito Aryotejo was in attendance and would wave the checkered flag. The race would be 30 laps with 20 points up for grabs to the winner. Could the new pool of fresh blood make their mark at the season opener, or would the battle-tested veterans continue their reign? The starting grid, Jonas Andersson continuing where he left off at the top, and right behind him Victory Team's Eric Stark, Rusty Wyatt and Stefan Arendt P3 and P4 respectively, Bartek Marszalek in 5th, followed by Celio in 6th, and Alberto Comparato with his work cut out for him back in 16th. Just moments to go as the crowds hold their breath. The lights go out and the race is on. The top 3 boats bolt off the dock. Stefan Arendt in P4 has trouble getting off, with Marszalek to his starboard pulling ahead. Andersson leads, but Eric Stark in the blue Victory boat begins to nudge ahead. Stark has superior speed down to the commitment buoy and takes the lead around the green buoys, but Andersson still has the inside lane advantage. Rusty Wyatt is 3rd behind. Peter Marin in lane 7 cuts in front of Sami Celio, who blasts through Marin's spray and off the racing line, losing a position. Out front, the epic battle for first between the two Swedes continues. Andersson has the inside lane through the next 3 buoys, but Stark is fast on the straights. They are neck and neck, swinging around the left-hander. They lock horns in a duel down to the right-hander. Stark has the inside lane and is pushing to the max, almost losing it. But he manages to settle the boat and surges ahead. Stark takes first place, dousing Andersson in his spray. What an opening salvo from the Victory driver. Andersson P2 with Rusty Wyatt breathing down his neck, chasing in 3rd. Marin and Marszalek are fighting for 4th. Behind them, Stefan Arendt down to 6th from 4th. Ben Jelf leads in the battle for 10th. Roms, Dillard, and Zandbergen are closing in from behind. Zandbergen passes Dillard, then makes a lunge to the inside, coming around the left-handers, fighting with Roms to his outside. Ben Jelf leads into the right-hander, squeezing out Zandbergen, but leaving very little room for Roms, who plows straight into Zandbergen's rear. The young Dutchman barrel rolls and gets an underwater view of Lake Toba. The race is yellow flagged. Ferdinand Zandbergen is okay as the Osprey rescue team is on the scene in seconds. Zandbergen cuts right and leaves nowhere for Philip Roms, and wham! Roms continues through the crash, but Zandbergen takes the plunge, ending his first race before the first lap is completed. Worse still is what this means for Eric Stark, for as the field hadn't completed a full lap before the yellow flag, the restart order will be that of the original starting grid. A cruel blow for Eric Stark, who gives Andersson the lead before the race is restarted. All boats take their original starting order, and the flag is up. The race is on again. Andersson has a solid lead. Stark 2nd. Bartek Marszalek in 5th is trying to pass Stefan Arendt, but the Estonian has the speed and locks in 4th. F1 Atlantic's Ben Jelf is trying to hold off the aggressive Daniel Kamzi. The Emirati has the speed and moves up to 8th. Ahead in the battle for 6th is Red Devils' Sami Celio, outpaced by Peter Marin, who moves ahead on the inside. Celio is too wide on that turn, and Daniel Kamzi is there to gain another position, the Emirati now up to 7th. Up ahead, Andersson begins to open the gap back to Stark, with Wyatt keeping the 2 leaders in check in 3rd. China CTIC's Peter Marin is up 1 position in 6th, now targeting Marszalek, trying to find a way around last year's race winner here. Al-Kamzi in 8th, looking for any gaps in the duo's fight ahead. Marit Stromoy is giving hard chase to Sami Celio in the battle for 8th. Ben Jelf down 2 spots in 10th, in front of teammate Benavente. Brent Dillard 12th, and Alberto Comparato is back in 13th ahead of Maverick's Cedric de Guin. Philip Roms returns to the pits, unable to continue the race after that crash.
I had a small touch with Ferdinand in the second yellow turn, and we have a hole in the boat, so I didn't want to risk a boat because it was not handling quite so well and full of water, so we don't want to break the boat anymore.
So you collided?
I
didn't really
okay.
Because I get start was great, and I was trying to overtake some people to solve some points, but unfortunately, yeah, this happened now, and that's also racing.
Going into lap 7, Alberto Comparato, trying to recover from the bad luck that blew his engine, passes Brent Dillard and now attacking F1 Atlantic's Benavente. Comparato does it, moving into 12th. Next, he bears down on Benavente's teammate Ben Jelf. He tries to pass on the outside, but makes a small mistake, hooking the nose and loses valuable pace. Frustration for Team Abu Dhabi. Coming up to the halfway mark, the positions remain the same. Jonas Anderson in the lead, Eric Stark second, and in third, Canadian rookie Rusty Wyatt relentless in his pursuit with an under 2-second gap to Stark. The battle between the three leaders has extended their gap back to Estonian Stefan Arendt by over 15 seconds. Team Vietnam, currently with boats in first and fourth, could rack up some valuable points toward the team championship. Marsalek is 5th, Marin in 6th, then Al-Khamzi, Sami Celio in 8th, doggedly pursued by Murat Stromoy, and Ben Jelf in 10th has managed to ward off Comparato. In lap 23, Comparato closes the gap to Ben Jelf and nearly spins out, coming around a right-hander. He manages to halt the spin, but is passed by China CTIC's Brent Dillard, who moves up to 11th. The laps wind down, but the battle for first intensifies. The three leaders are almost 30 seconds clear of the rest of the field, all three racing at the limit on the raggedy edge. Entering the final lap, Eric Stark gains on Jonas Anderson. The red boat seems to be losing pace. The two boats sponson to sponson. Anderson on the inside lane. At the last second, he finds some speed and defends his position. Stark stays tight to Anderson's line. Rusty Wyatt swings around the left-hander on the outside, maintaining his speed. And now he has the inside lane on the right-hander. The three boats go through the right to left switchbacks at maximum throttle. Rusty Wyatt stays wide again. Coming around down the final straight, Stark moves to the outside. He blasts past Anderson into first. He's done it. The final stretch, the three boats gunning it to the finish line. And here comes Rusty Wyatt. The rookie has tremendous speed on the outside. He beats them all and crosses the line in first. A stunning finish. Rusty Wyatt storms to a win in the final stretch. Sharjah team cannot believe they've done it. Eric Stark, who led the race twice, settles for second.
We all want to had it. 2 times.
Anderson at the front for 30 laps, unable to believe what just happened.
It started to burn. The wood.
A fire on board in the final laps, but he salvages third. His teammate Estonian Stefan Arendt with an incredible 4th place finish in his first race. Bartek Marsalek 5th, Peter Marin rounds out the top 6, Daniel Kamzi gets 7th, Sami Celio finishes ahead of Murat Stromoy in 8th, and Ben Jelf nabs a point in 10th. But the day belongs to Canadian sensation Rusty Wyatt.
Got around the outside on the last lap.
I tell you, it's a record to beat. First rookie ever to win a race.
No way.
And Canadian.
No way. Yeah! Thank you.
Sorry about that. Luck, man. You ran a great race.
It happens sometimes.
I know, but...
Team Vietnam head to their home race at the top of the team championship standings, 1 point clear of Sharjah team, and Victory team third with just 1 driver.
Ecstatic. It was a 30-lap race, that's for sure. I started even backing off a little bit. The water was getting pretty nasty, and we had a bit of a gap in between each other. I was happy with third, but I saw Jonas start breaking down, and then Stark was having an issue, and I just held it wide open around the outside, and there we were. Storybook finish.
And I had an amazing start. Catch Jonas, I think we had a really good battling for half a lap, and then I took him, but then such a bad luck that someone crashed, so it was yellow flag, so I needed to go back to my starting position. It was not our weekend this weekend, but I'm happy with second. It's good points for the championship. It's a long year, so yeah.
And it started to get fire in the boat, and I'm really lucky to be third today. It can stop the whole race, so I'm really lucky and thankful that I can be third today.
In the overall standings, after 3 races on Lake Toba, Rusty Wyatt makes history as the first rookie and Canadian to win a Grand Prix. He leads with 29 points, 4 points clear of Eric Stark in second and Anderson in third. Estonian Arant is fourth with 16 points, tied with Bartek Marsalek. The traditional F1H2O dunking of a first-time race winner, Rusty Wyatt, takes a dip in Lake Toba.
I should have known better. I should have known better.
The F1H2O World Championship flag was officially handed over to the hosts of Round 2 in the Vietnamese city of Binh Dinh. See you there for the next round of the UIM F1H2O World Championship.